around them in the store with them have defiled your holiness. So you must wash their defilement off your body. And this was the tradition of the Pharisees. So, when the Pharisees saw Jesus' disciples eating without washing their hands, this was worse to them than talking in someone's face without a mask. So they attacked Jesus because Jesus' disciples had broken their tradition. Although their tradition was not in the Bible, it was a tradition that they made up. So they attacked Jesus. But Jesus understood, like we understood, that their whole tradition was backwards and wrong. Now, there are other related areas in the Bible that we could consider similar. And here's one: to eat meat that had been offered to idols. This was a New Testament concern. And Paul had to address it. He said, meat commend us not to God, 1 Corinthians 8:8. For neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. Here's another one. Colossians, the 2nd chapter and the 16th verse. He says, and we're talking about tradition and superstitions, okay? Let no man therefore judge you. That is, let no man bring you into bondage in meat or drink or respect of an holiday or of the new moon or of the Sabbath day. Look at verse 21. Touch not, taste not, handle not. Paul says, do not allow yourself to be brought under bondage in these things. Why? Because these things have nothing to do with your salvation or your sanctification with God. Now, again, remember John 8:32. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So just think about how many people that these Pharisees had in bondage with their backwards and wrong tradition. Now, I used to be in bondage of some of the things that my parents, my grandparents, and the people of the community taught, okay? And you can laugh if you want to. That's okay. But I'm going to name some. Number one, it was wrong to iron clothes on Sunday. Oh, that was just sin, to iron clothes on Sunday. And it was wrong to go fishing on Sunday. Okay? This was the culture of the community. Then we had superstitions. If a black cat crossed your path from the right to the left side of the road, turn around. If you did not turn around, something bad was going to happen to you. And I used to work with a man who lived by this. If a black cat crossed the road in front of him from the right side and run to the left, he would turn around even if he were only a block from his destination. Okay? And then another one was eat black-eyed peas on New Year's. Have you heard of that one? It would bring good luck. Another one was to, on New Year's, let a man be the first to walk in your house. That would bring prosperity. And another one, I'm just naming some of the things that were in our culture. If you find a 4-leaf clover, put it in the Bible. That'll bring good luck. And then we all know about the rabbit foot. That will bring good luck. And then as a boy, I used to visit a house down home, and over the front door they had a horseshoe for good luck. Now, although my family and the people of the community, we all were Christians born again with the Spirit of God, and we went to church every Sunday, yet these traditions and superstitions were a part of our culture. Yet we were in bondage to these things. But again, what did Jesus say? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And I want to tell you, it was the Word of God that gave me freedom from these traditions and superstitions. Because like the Pharisees, it is not uncommon for people, good intention, yet they mix up their tradition and their superstitious belief with their religious belief. And they give their tradition and the superstition just as much authority in their lives as they give the Word of God. So, I found freedom through the Word of God. And that is, if it is not in the Word of God, then do not mix it in the Word of God. Keep separated. You put the Word of God in this basket, and then put tradition, and there are some good tradition. The Word of God. The Word of God is the one that carries the authority in our lives. And as far as superstitions are concerned, get rid of them altogether. You do not need to be in bondage to superstition. If you don't believe the Word of God, we say, and we are in bondage by these things, and the Word of God said, no, you're free from that. Now, if you don't believe, if you do not believe, then you are still in bondage, and not only in bondage, but you are in sin. Let us use the example in our lesson. Eating with unwashed hands. I must believe that it is not a sin, according to the Word of God, to eat with unwashed hands. Otherwise, if I eat and in my heart I say, I still believe this is wrong, then to me it is wrong. It becomes sin. Why? Because I have eaten with unwashed hands, and I did not do it in faith, okay? And don't forget Romans 14:23. He that doubted is damned if he eat. Why? because he eateth not of faith. And whatsoever is not of faith is sin. So, you must have faith in the Word of God in order for the Word of God to free you from wrong traditions and superstition. Now, what about if a tradition conflicts with the Word of God? Then the tradition must be changed, adjusted, or thrown out altogether. Because what? The Word of God is your rule of faith and practice. And we look at Mark 18 through 23. Jesus tells us this about eating with unwashed hands. Jesus is going to tell us that it's not what goes into our bodies that defile us spiritually. Now, you can eat things and put things in your body that destroys you physically, okay? But we're talking about our spirituality, our salvation, our sanctification. And Jesus said this, beginning at Mark 7:18. He told his disciples didn't really understand what he meant by it's what is inside of your heart that defiles you and not what you eat. He said, do ye not perceive that whatsoever things from without enter into the man, it cannot defile him, because it entered not into his heart, but into his belly, and go out into the drought, purging all meat. And he said, that which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man. For from within, out of the heart of man, proceed, listen, evil thought, adulterous, fornication, murder, theft, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these things come from within and defile the man. And not eating with unwashed hands. So the question is, are you bound by wrong traditions and superstition? Why don't you allow the Word of God to set you free? Jesus said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And we're going to stop here, and the Lord's will, we'll pick up next time.